Hi guys, I hope you're well. Welcome to the Two Paths channel. My name is Jay and I am a functional medicine practitioner. And today's video, we're going to talk about one of your favorite subjects, which is visual snow. Okay, I just want to start this video with a little bit of a disclaimer. Okay, so if you think that by watching this video, you're going to find out the answer that you've been looking for, the real easy two-step process to curing visual snow, because you think it's that easy and you think it's that simple, just switch the video off now, because it is not going to be for you. Okay, if you believe that visual snow is just some switch in your brain that just can be switched off and on, you know, you can be given a pill or you can do some procedure and then boom, you've got your vision back, your life's back, you don't feel shit anymore and it's amazing. Well, as most of you know, that is not the case. It does not work that way. So what I want to do in this video is just kind of clear up some of the nonsense that's out there around visual snow, and just to give you a little bit of an idea of how I cured my visual snow. If you're new to the channel, you'll know that I've done a lot of videos on this in terms of, you know, certain steps that I took, my journey with visual snow, very similar to what a lot of you guys have as well. So just to kind of start with, okay, so we have visual snow. What is visual snow? Okay, as somebody who had vision like this, so if you've not known what visual snow is, this is the vision that I suffered with for quite a while, and extremely difficult to live with, extremely strange condition that, you know, you've never heard of, your doctors haven't got a clue, your family think you're crazy. It's very uncomfortable at times, from what and you know, it's hard to explain to people. So first off, I want to talk about what visual snow is. So visual snow is interference in your electrical field that your body's given off. So ancient civilizations, everything from Buddhism to Hinduism, we have chakra systems, you have Chinese medicine, you have all these ancient civilizations that have known about the fact that the body operates and emits its own electrical frequency. We are all electrical beings and we have a positive and a neutral negative charge within us. Okay, when these electrical charges get interrupted, that's when you start to have symptoms within the body. Okay, if somebody had told me this before I had visual snow, etc., I would just think you're crazy. I didn't believe in any of that until you actually feel the energy and the electrical impulses that your body is giving off. And usually you feel that when you slowly start to heal, which is what I did, then you become a believer overnight. So your body's giving off this electrical signal, your brain's connected to the rest of your body. We are electrical beings. Everything is a signal being sent by your brain to the rest of your body. So what happens when you get sick? Could be anything, right? You took a drug, you took a medication, you took a vaccine, you had an amount of stress over a long period of time. So what these things do is they eat away at that electrical force field, as I like to call it. And if those little hits to the system get strong enough, then your immune system crashes, your nervous system gets out of balance, and that force field comes down. And that's when you are open to a lot of negative pathogens, energy, disease. And it's these things that cause you to become very toxic and interfere with these signals in your body. So when you're looking at stuff, right? And you might have visual snow now, right? What does it look like? It looks like somebody's taken the aerial out of the back of a TV, right? That's when you don't have a good signal being emitted by your brain, right? And the reason is because you've become highly toxic. Your body has stopped detoxing. Remember, I say in my other videos, right, we are only 10% human. We have all sorts of pathogens and a whole kind of different ecosystem that lives within us, okay? Usually our immune system is keeping that in check. Every day it's working non-stop to keep that in check. When that takes a hit, these things can start to overgrow. Something as simple as candida can become dangerous, okay? Lyme starts to kick into gear. Okay, you start having mold issues. You start having all sorts of toxins develop, parasitic infections develop in your body because your body just can't detox and keep them in check anymore. They're having a party now because the defense system is down. And it's when that happens that you start to get these crazy symptoms. So what I had to do in order to cure my visual snow was a mixture of getting my body back to a level where my immune system wasn't under constant pressure from the toxic buildup of Lyme, mold, all these different pathogens that were running amok in my body, okay? I had to go on a long, arduous process of getting those things not cured, but getting them back to a level where my nervous system work and the nervous rebalancing work that I was doing at the same time in parallel would help my nervous system kick in, right? Put all these things back in check. And it's almost like somebody would slowly put the aerial back in the TV and my vision started to get better. That process of my vision getting better, it was something, I mean, I wasn't really a spiritual person up until then, but now when people say that they feel like God's moving through them or they feel like the universe is imparting some knowledge or a force that they're feeling throughout their body, it's absolutely mind-blowing. Because when that started happening to me, it was almost like a release. I started to realize that all the trauma, all the issues that I'd had leading up to the onset of visual snow had created energy blocks within my system, okay? And the negative pathogens were feeding off those energy blocks, keeping me in a state of high toxicity, keeping me in a perpetual loop of fear and despair. But when my vibrancy in my body started to raise to that optimum level where your immune system starts kicking in and you start feeling that charge coming through your body, okay? I'll go and have a look at YouTube videos of people who've healed from all sorts of different conditions. They will talk about spontaneous recovery. They'll talk about feeling God in them, feeling their immune system coming back online. It was almost like a computer coming back online, okay? Imagine a computer's been down for a while. You've got all sorts of viruses, etc. You put in a virus blocker or a virus remover, and all of a sudden, after a few days, the computer just starts rebooting, all the programs start coming back up. That's exactly how it felt to me. Now, did it happen overnight? No, it took a while. But every day, things started to get a little bit better, a little bit clearer, and I started to feel this energy coming out of my body that was actually stuck within my chakras, within my, acupuncturists, they have different points in the body. All these different levels were just slowly starting to come back. And it was almost like my force field was starting to come back up again. And I could feel bugs and pathogens. I had things come out of my skin that were crazy, almost like Morgellons, which is related to Lyme. I understand what that is now. And I had that for a while and I didn't know what that was, but that was just pathogens feeding off that negative frequency. So when I started to to remove those pathogens, get my immune system back up, do the nervous system work, and start slowly releasing that energy, it was like my vibrancy started to raise, and it was a beautiful thing. And that's what I wish for all of you guys, like you get to that point, because when you start to realize it, when you start to feel it, you start to understand what all of this is. You start to realize that we have a connection to everything around us. We have a connection to other people. Like, I'm a very different person now after healing from something like this, because I feel other people's energy. I had a very kind of spiritual upbringing. My mother was a very spiritual person, and she would always talk about people's energy. And she was one of those people that kind of had almost like a unseen understanding of just the energy around her. Unfortunately, she was in a very negative environment that brought her natural energy down. And in the end, that's what contributed to her sickness, to her cancer. And I can see that clear as day now. So the one thing that I realized from this is all the interactions that you have with the world, with the planet, with nature, with everything around you, right, is operating at a certain frequency, okay? If you start to drop your frequency, and that can just be from crap that you eat, from, nonsense that you're consuming via social media, nonsense that, the governments are keeping you in fear, all that type of stuff, even toxic people around you, that's a big one, right? If you've got toxic people around you, which I did for, a long part of my childhood, right? You have to understand that these people are killing you. It's as simple as that. Like, if you have toxic people around you, do your best to get the fuck away from them, because the energy that certain people give off in this world is just negative, and it brings high energy, high frequency people down to their level. And that's when you'll often find people around them will get sick. I have a very funny story about this one. So I remember I was working in a company in Czech Republic at a time, and we were sitting at a desk, and we had a nice new plant in the middle of the desk. And we had a colleague who was really bubbly and fun, and she was amazing. And the three of us would just laugh and joke around the table, and it was just fantastic. And that plant was just constantly vibrant. That girl who we eventually kind of parted ways with us, a new employee came on, and she was very negative, and she would always complain at the end of the day, and everything was just not good enough for her. She was always trying to create conflict with the other kind of salespeople in the organization. There was always an excuse. And I always remember we had a running joke, because the plant over time started to die. Right? And just something as simple, I always think about that now, because after the journey that I went through, realizing that we're all energetic beings, that makes so much sense to me now. And now I'm starting to realize that there are people who emit those kind of signals and that kind of frequency, and that affects not only other human beings, it affects nature, it affects animals, it affects everything that's around them. So if you're in that situation and you're trying to heal, my advice to you is that is one of the best things that you can do, is get away from toxic environments, toxic people, because it's very, very hard to heal, right, when the levels of energy around you and the frequency is just not good. Okay, so that would be my number one piece of advice. When I got sick, I moved. I was staying with some family at the time, and I just, within about 5 days, I realized that if I stayed there any longer, I would just suffer even more, and it just was not good for me. It wasn't good for my health, and I needed to completely change my scenery. And I know a lot of you guys can't do that, but you have to make your environment that you're healing in as beneficial as possible. Because if you're in that toxic environment, right, you're keeping that that vibrancy around you very low, right? What do you think is going to happen in your body? You need to be raising that vibrancy. So positive people, right? Positive thoughts, these kind of things. And this is so important, so important. And it often is part of the thing that just gets left behind. So, as I said, you have the energetic field that the body gives off. It's important to seal those holes up, to start operating at a higher frequency. Okay, a lot of the stuff that I do in my channel, the vagus nerve exercises, the somatic work, the breathing, the trauma work, etc., that all helps with raising that frequency in the body and helping balance your nervous system. Okay, the toxic part of it, sometimes it's not enough because people, depends how long you've been sick, how old you are, what kind of toxins you were given at birth. All these things contribute to how toxic you get quickly when your body doesn't have a force field up anymore. And that is something that I cover in some of my private courses, just because it's very individual and it really depends on the person. There's just so much stuff that I've learned in the past few years, around Lyme disease, around mold toxicity, around certain genetic mutations, all this stuff that contributes to, how quickly you can actually get your immune system back. Because remember, we're not interested in just killing everything off in your body. We just need your immune system to come back so that it can start working properly again and it can start doing what it's always been doing, which is protecting you and putting all of those nasty pathogens and symptom-causing pathogens back in check and raising your frequency again. Okay, so that's something that I do, guys. I do that in my private time. As I said, it's a challenging thing, working and rewarding at the same time. I have quite a few clients now, and it's very rewarding, but challenging as well, because as you can imagine, working with people who are really, really sick and, are coming from a place of no hope. It takes time, right? It takes time. And that's the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about. I know sometimes in the comments, occasionally, I'll see the odd comment and somebody will be like, oh, why can't you tell me, how did you do it? How did you do it? This is not the way it works, right? If you think that things work that quick, right, then you're going to be waiting a long time. Nobody is coming to save you. You're just going to be sitting there waiting for some organization to develop a pill for you, right? It doesn't work like that. If that would have happened already, okay? It's not going to happen. You have to take healing back into your own hands. You need to understand that these are multi-complex conditions, right? That don't have usually one source, right? They can be different in different people. And everybody's healing looks different. But I believe that if you put all the different factors, as long as we cover everything, okay, your chance of healing is fantastic. And that's what I'm finding with my clients, because we are covering everything, right? I'm working, with people, and I don't work with everybody. When I talk about frequency, the one thing that I said to myself is, when I get better, I didn't want to leave people on the battlefield. I wanted to help people, but I have to protect myself as well. And I only work with those people who I feel like I can help. People who are emitting the right frequency and I feel like they have the right mindset to move forward and to get their health back. Because mindset is so important, right? If you don't feel like you can do anything about your health, and if you're just sitting around waiting, okay, it's nothing, not that I've got anything against you. I have the most empathy for your situation, etc. It's just that I have to protect myself after the hell that I've been through in my life and just my general course of life, right? I want to work with people who bring something, to the party, bring the right type of energy, bring the right type of level. And it's a long process, it's a long one-to-one process that takes time. Okay. I'm very blessed to have seen the best doctors, worked with the best clinicians, tried pretty much every treatment that any of you guys have tried times 100. I've done it all. And I was blessed enough to have the money to do that. And I realized a lot of the time it was a waste of time. So, I'm coming from a place of, I've cured myself. And that's one thing that I would say to you guys is, if you are looking to work with somebody, if you're looking to work with people, right, first thing you should ask them is, have they actually helped people with the condition that you have? Okay, because there's just too many people out there who profess that they know what visual snow is or what they know these things are, and they haven't got a clue. Not only have they never helped anybody, they've never gone through the hell themselves, right? It's like, would you ever go to a plumber or a pipe fitter that's never actually fitted a house before? No, you wouldn't. It's just insanity, okay? So think about these things before you pick somebody, right, to work with. That's the only thing that I would say, is try to find good people to work with. Can you do this yourself? It really depends on how severe your situation is, okay? How many infections that you have going on, how long you've been sick for, what your mindset is. Some people enjoy having somebody to kind of give them some structure and a plan, and that's what I do for my clients, is give them a structure and a plan so that we are working as a team with, getting to the final goal of health. Okay, and I do whatever I can to help my clients, right, to get to that end level. You speak to any of my clients, I do absolutely whatever I can. I have a fantastic team of people who help me out as well. Okay, and this is what I've been doing, and it's very rewarding. But as I said, I mean, if there's negativity, if you don't feel like this is for you, look, I ain't forcing you to watch this channel, right? You just can just unsubscribe, and I wish you all the best, right? This is just something that I do in my part-time, and I take time out of my schedule to help and work with people. It's not the only thing I do. I do other things in my life as well, okay? But I feel that, in a certain way, because I've come out of this, I do have a gift in terms of I understand what people are going through. I've cured myself, and I 100% know where this is coming from. So it's not even an opinion from me, it's fact, because I've been through it and I've cured it. Okay, so guys, that's what I would say is if you need to keep the energy up, you need to understand that mindset plays an important part in this. Okay, this is 100% curable. I don't care if you had it since you were young. I don't care when you got it or how you got it, etc. Right? If I cured myself from the most severe visual snow, right, possible, why can't you? Okay, I'm no different. I'm no Superman or etc. Right? I just tried a lot of stuff, and in the end, I found a path of how to heal. Okay, and I'm confident all of you can do that. You just need to stop becoming salespeople for visual snow, because sometimes I notice that you make this such a massive thing. It's almost like you're selling the benefits of it to me, like it's the greatest disease or condition ever invented. It's not that serious. Okay, it's just a symptom like a headache or something else, right? You just need to find out what the root cause is. Once you can start to find that root cause out, I'm telling you, not only will your symptoms go, you won't worry about that, right? You will just transform yourself. And I'm hoping all of you get to the point where you start to feel this energy inside you. Because I firmly believe that people who do get sick, or people who do have, able to see visual snow, which is kind of crazy because you are actually seeing this ethereal kind of energy around you. You're seeing how we are all electrical beings. I firmly believe that anybody who suffers with visual snow is a spiritual person at heart. And it's kind of like a test from God or from the universe, so that as soon as you go through it, it's something that you have to do because you've been disregarding your own health for so long. And it's time that you go on that journey. Now, that journey is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of effort, right? It's not easy. Anybody who tells you it's easy is lying, okay? It's hard. You have to become an absolute warrior to go through this. You have to. But I'm telling you something, life is not easy, okay? I come from a generation where things were not given to us, right? I look around now, and what I see in the world is people who just want things like that, instant gratification, right? We want Amazon to deliver this, we want this to deliver this. If we get sick, we want a pill, and that's it, right? This is not the way it works, right? You need to get your mindset out of, okay, I need everything now, and it has to be done now, okay? That's frustrating. You're putting yourself under pressure, okay? You're gonna have to understand this is gonna be a journey, okay? You've been on this journey, it's gonna take you time, right? And you never give up. Whatever happens, you never give up. You never become one of those people that just becomes a salesperson for visual snow, right? I don't want to see any of that nonsense that, oh, but I'm different, or I don't think I can do it, or what if I have permanent brain damage? It's all absolute crap, okay? If anybody's telling you that, right, just fuck off. Like, it's absolute nonsense, okay? So guys, I'll try to do more videos. I've just been very busy with a few different projects. If you haven't checked out my website, I have a new website that's that I created. I hope you guys like it. I did a nice little video to kind of celebrate 1 year of Two Paths. And I'll be releasing kind of more videos soon, not just on chronic illness, but just on general stuff, maybe what's happening in the world as well. Because we live in crazy times, as you probably have observed recently. But when it comes to this, guys, I wish you all the best. And sign up to my newsletter. Please just push a like for this video. Share it to anybody who you feel might need it. Maybe somebody who's just started developing visual snow and they feel like there's no hope, and they're kind of surrounding themselves with people who are kind of putting them down. This is the type of people that I'm trying to get through to, because I was there, and for a very long time I had no hope. I thought this was it. I was never going to get better, and I did. And now I feel amazing, and not only do I feel amazing, but I feel like I understand how the universe works in a small way, which is just insane. Because once you actually feel that, it's honestly, you become awakened, like just overnight. You really do. Guys, thanks for your time. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.